We are live. You're now tuned in to another edition of Calix Boxing. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Hit that sub button for nightly boxing videos. And you're tuned in to Calix Boxing with your devastatingly handsome host, Calix Boxing. No. Sit down. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I was watching a video just now that Ellie Seckbach did where he interviewed Angel Garcia and basically asked Angel Garcia, what would it take to get the Pacquiao fight done? What would it take to get the Mayweather fight done? And he basically said that he first asked about Mayweather, and Angel Garcia and all of his delusional thoughts said that, you know, we love the fight with Mayweather and we'd take about 20 million to fight Mayweather. So off the bat, this interview just went somewhere out of space. I'm just thinking like, okay, this guy really thinks that Danny Garcia, this guy really thinks that a Mayweather fight in 2016, the opponent is worth 20 million, when nobody besides Pacquiao made it anywhere close to that. I mean, obviously Mayweather and Pacquiao broke the bank, but other than that, nobody made even close to that to fight Mayweather. And now we're in 2016 where the Mayweather and Pacquiao market has completely run dry, almost. It's completely watered down, let's say that. And there's no demand in the marketplace. There's very little demand in the marketplace for Mayweather and Pacquiao pay-per-views at this point. And this guy has the nerve to say, well, we'll take 20 million to fight Mayweather. Like, what kind of voodoo economics does this guy practice? Dude, 20 million? But it gets even worse. He said, because we all know Danny Garcia turned down 4 million to fight Pacquiao. So Pacquiao's name was brought up. Angel Garcia said, you know, we'd fight Pacquiao, but he'd have to take the 4 million and we get the A side of the money. And I'm thinking to myself, once again, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, at first, when this happened a couple weeks ago, I thought they were just pricing themselves out because they didn't want to fight Pacquiao. But then the more you hear Angel Garcia talk, and then the more you see Danny Garcia in the background nodding his head like, yeah, oh yeah, we bought that money. Oh yeah. And then the more you see further on in this interview, Angel Garcia is asked who his top 3 pound-for-pound fighters are. And he says Danny Garcia is number 1. Even though Mayweather doesn't fight, he's number 2. Andre Ward's number 3. And once again, I'm thinking to myself, okay, out of the 3 guys he just mentioned, I think combined they have like 2 fights in 2016 so far. And Danny Garcia is one of them. And his only fight in 2016 is Robert Guerrero. And then he's going to fight probably Andre Berto. And that's going to be his 2 fights for 2016. So the more I hear Angel Garcia talk and the more I see Danny Garcia nod in approval, the more I think these guys really are delusional and they really think they're worth this money. And the more I see this, it's a trend with other fighters, and I start to think that, you know, my theory is true, that we're in an entitlement age in boxing where, in the PBC has sped up this process to where, you know, it's on steroids now, to where guys feel they're entitled to money and they're worth money that they're not even close to being on that level. They're not even close to establishing that type of value as a fighter. Like, Danny Garcia is not worth 4 million per fight for anybody, to fight anybody, much less Pacquiao. If Pacquiao's throwing him 4 million, he should be on his knees begging like, yeah, give it to me. I want to fight Pacquiao. I want to fight a legend for 4 million. Give it to me. He shouldn't be turning down 4 million to fight Pacquiao and then saying, not only will we not take the 4 million, we want the A side of the money. We want 40 million. And by the way, Pacquiao's not even going to make close to 40 million to fight anybody at this point. Like, what the hell? Once again, the voodoo economics here. Like, what are these guys talking about? And like I said, at one point I thought they were just pricing themselves out. But I think these guys really, to a certain level, believe this stuff, like they're worth this money. And I think it's Al Heyman pumping these guys up, paying them $2-3 million to fight bums, to fight cab drivers, to fight Uber drivers, to fight construction workers. And then they feel like anytime they step up to fight anybody with a pulse, they deserve 10 times that amount of money. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And that's why the sport is where it, dude, the sport has always been screwed up. But even when we had the Cold War between Top Rank and Golden Boy, they were still battling it out, competing to see which ones would put on better fights, even though they were not putting on fights together against each other. And we were still getting very good fights. We still weren't getting the fights that we deserve as boxing fans to a certain level, but we were still getting good fights. We were still getting good action. Now we're getting nothing. Like we get crumbs. We're getting crumbs. Boxing fans' lives matter. Boxing fans' lives matter, right? So when I see guys like Danny Garcia, what has he done? He lost to Mauricio Herrera. He lost that fight. More people than not believe he lost the Lamont Peterson fight. Every time this guy steps up, besides the Matisse fight, and it turns out Matisse was tailor-made for him and not as good as we once thought. But every time he steps up, he looks average. He's an average fighter. Like, I don't understand it, man. Like, out of all the overrated fighters we have in boxing, to me, he may take the cake. He may be the most overrated fighter in boxing. But I just can't get over this money issue and why anybody would take this seriously and why anybody would take him seriously after this. And it's one thing if you say, okay, I'm in it for the business. I don't want to do this for long. I just want to do this for 5 more years and get out. So I'm just trying to get as much money as possible to feed my kids. And, you know, I have a newborn and I just want to make this money. I want to go low risk, high reward. That's fine. If you say that, that's fine. I respect that, but end it right there. Okay. Don't in the next sentence say, oh, by the way, I'm #1 pound for pound. Okay. The two don't match up. All right. If you're going low risk, high reward, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, okay, I'm going to fight this opposition and then act like I'm fighting this opposition up here and I want to be ranked up here, even though I should be ranked right here. No. We should not be taking you seriously. And how they're managing this guy's career, it's not a long-term thing, man. Like, this is what I don't understand about the PBC. It's like they're looking so short-term. Nobody's looking long-term. There is no fighter development going on in the PBC. None. Dude, they want to have Danny Garcia versus Andre Berto at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. You want to have a Philadelphia fighter fight a Haitian fighter out of Florida in Los Angeles. What sense does that make? And I think it's happening on Showtime. So I'm not understanding what is the long-term goal with the Danny Garcia? What is it? Because it looks like it's headed nowhere. The trajectory is either even or it's going down. It's not going up. That's for sure. So what's the long-term goal? Just feed him bums until one day he gets lucky and gets a big fight? I don't know. And they're saying, oh, the Keith Thurman unification fight is going to happen in fall of 2017. Well, great. Oh, great. Fall of 2017. I cannot wait. Goodness gracious. And then Angel Garcia, every time somebody knocks Danny Garcia, he gets all mad. We'll play the sad trombone. Oh, we're so sorry, Angel. Dude, I'm tired of it. I'm done, man. Like, give me good fights. I just want to see. I don't care if PBC fails at this point. I don't care about free. Everybody's so excited about free TV too. Dude, the contracts are ending this year. He's got 2-year contracts with these networks. The ESPN contract ends like in a couple weeks. And there's already rumors coming out that they're not going to pick up the contract. Before we had Friday night fights at least, and we were getting decent action fights every week. I mean, it wasn't elite level, but it was still fights. Now we maybe get a fight once a month. and we get like Danny Jacobs versus Sergio Mora or something, some crap like that, and then it's about to go away. I don't understand what it's going to take for people to wake up and say, hey, this PBC stuff is not working. Al Heyman is not working for the better interest of boxing fans. So if it takes him failing for us to at least get what we had before, I'd be fine with paying $29 a month for HBO and Showtime as long as I'm getting good fights each month. And everybody's excited, oh, free boxing, free boxing, free boxing. Dude, the networks are not paying Al Heyman to put boxing on their networks. Al Heyman is paying them. It's an infomercial. It is a proactive commercial for boxing. That's all it is. UFC gets paid to get their product out. NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey. These networks are paying them to put their product on TV. Boxing, Al Heyman is paying the network a ton of money to get his product on, and there's no fighter development. There's no sense of urgency here. Does this guy just have an unlimited amount of cash coming out of his pockets to where he can just put on crap fights and pay fighters a ton of money when nobody's in the stands and it's doing just decent numbers on TV? What the hell is going on? How is this sustainable? And you have a fighter like Danny Garcia who's saying, no, I don't want the Pacquiao fight. No, if I fight Mayweather, I need 20 million. What the hell is this, man? Goodness gracious.